All right. If you are watching on YouTube at a later date, welcome to the Azul streamers match between myself and Alexey. I've never actually, we have it set up for like a live tournament, and I have never actually done this before. I don't even know how this is gonna happen. But we'll see. Hi, May May. Okay, and I tried to find some copyright free music so that I can actually play music while I stream without getting a copyright infringement. Let's see how this goes. How's the volume on the music? Okay, here we go. It feels like you're in an elevator. Okay, time to duel. Pretty interesting draw, to be honest. I don't know what Alexey's feelings on the fourth column are. Um, this draw kind of has the look of a fourth column draw, but I don't know that I would play it. Yeah, okay, so we're on the third column. Music's too loud for me, actually. Okay, I think I'm gonna take the yellow from the center and play it on row 3, but not really with the intention of building the fourth column. The other option is I could try like a column 1 strategy. tempting to also just take the reds for 2. Okay, let's build the 4th column, and I'm gonna hate it. But we'll see. This was a tough start because, like, generally when, like, whatever column my opponent picks, I like to go after the lower rows. And the only really option to do that was this 2 red. But you know, I'm thinking maybe we can actually still just build the center. I'm just gonna go after his blacks. And like I can still take advantage of these yellows while he cannot. At least not really. He could pivot to the 1st column, which would be interesting. A bit tricky. I don't want to go yellow because then he goes yellow row 1, I go yellow row 3. Gets the 2 blacks, but then I get the 2 whites. That's not so bad actually. But then he gets the reds. I don't know. Not the best. I think yellow was probably a mistake, but I didn't want to give him like a free row 4 yellow. It was a pretty tricky round 1 for me. I'm not sure that I played this well. I think just taking row 1 yellow here is pretty good because he just gets 2 black or 2 red, his preference. And then I just play the other one on my row 1 and I make no real progress on my row 4. Yeah. And I'm basically forced here. Because I don't want to be stuck on this row 3. So he takes black or red, and then I take the other black or red. Oh, that's interesting. So now we take white since he switched to the center column. That's pretty smart. Having the first player tile when you're competing for the same column is quite strong. And sorry for my sniffles, I still have a little congestion from my flu. Okay. We should both be able to get row 2 yellow. I don't think I need to rush that. I don't really want to just take 2 black and give up 2 blue for his row 3. Additionally, I want the first player tile because I need whites. Like, we're going to be competing for white next round, both of us. So I'm just going to take blue row 3. And if he takes blacks, like, I'll have an uphill battle for black, but yeah. Jesus. It's not looking great game 1 so far, but we'll see what happens. Okay. This puts me in a somewhat forced situation for my row 2. Just gonna grab these. I won't do the best scoring this round. I can take a yellow here to force him to play row 2 red, as opposed to like taking 2 blue and then he can take and throw away a black and he's guaranteed a row 2. So I like just taking a yellow here. And actually, I think I throw it away. He should take red. If he doesn't, I play reds on 1. Otherwise, I play blues on 3. He probably takes a black. Then I take a yellow for row 1. I guess I should play it because it gives me the opportunity to play white or black on row 4 or 5. I don't think he'll give up a row 2. Yeah. This should just be white row 4. Yeah, so it's a good thing I played it, right? Because now I get to play one of these 2 tiles. If I just threw away the yellow, then I'd have to play one on row 1. My thought was that I could potentially get black on row 1 for better adjacency, but if he chose to throw away the black here, I would have to take the white, or the yellow, and then he'd get the white. Not the worst round, to be honest. Just because I think we'll end up fairly close in scoring, even with me having more negatives. Yeah, so we're tied. Okay, so although I have the first player tile, we didn't get a lot of whites, which is unfortunate. So the problem I run into here is if I don't take blacks, you know, there's only 6 left. I could just give up row 2 black though. Basically, I would like to take 2 blue here. Instead of going 2 black and giving him 2 blue. But in that event, I do get 2 white. But my row 2 is kind of... like, I don't want black on row 2 because I want it on row 5. So let's grab the blues. We'll see. If he takes the black, then I still get 2 white. And basically, I just want to grab one of these row 1 blues or throw one away at some point this round. If depending on how the round goes, I have my eye on just throwing away these 2 yellows. I don't think it'll get to that, but like if he doesn't play row 2 black, and is focused on like completing row 4 white, for example, then I might have a chance to just throw these away. Because his row 2 is essentially black or yellow. Like the whites are going to be going towards his row 4 and my row 4. So it's pretty unlikely he'll play row 2 white. Okay, so I think now I have to just snatch the blacks. The other thing I'm looking at is he doesn't have a good place to play reds. I mean, they can obviously end up on row 5, but like in theory, I have a nice, probably a free row 3 red at some point. Okay, let's grab the blacks. Now I feel comfortable. Like if I don't get the remaining 2 blacks, I'll be okay. Obviously, I still need 4 more in the rest of the game. Okay, so this could be the point where we throw away the yellow. Like I said, I think it'd be nice to finish black here, but it doesn't feel critical to me, and it just gives him the 2 whites. So I'm looking at taking a white or throwing away these yellows. And then at some point I want to take a blue as well. There's not much here in terms of like grouping tiles. Like grouping the reds doesn't help me. In fact, it kind of hurts me because I might be able to grab a bet on row 3. It's interesting, like if I take white, is he just forced to take the golds or the yellows? Okay, I think I'm just gonna throw them away. This might be a little... aggressive. There's a video that I want to do that I need more examples for, but basically something that I see a lot is people like instantly reacting to forcing moves. So for example, like Alexey took this black and made it so that there's only one black left for me to complete row 5. But like there's nothing that says I have to take this. And taking it, like he doesn't have a good place to play a single black. So there's some chance that I still get to play it anyway. And taking it would have grouped up the 2 whites. So it's like something I think a lot of even like 500s and 600s, like if you put them in a situation where you leave them with one of a color left and they need it, they just instantly take it. And exploring your options in those situations is definitely going to help your play a lot, because oftentimes your play isn't really forced. It just looks forced. Hi, Iris. So again, even just to remind myself, like looking at grabbing a blue at some point, that point might be now. If I take a blue, I'm going to be left with the last pick, but he basically has to take the whites. Then I take the black. He chooses between 5 red and 2 blue. And then I either get row 3 or row 4 red, or I throw out 2 blue tiles. Alternatives would be like playing a single white. What about black on row 1? If I take black on row 1, that groups the 3 blues. No, I can't take black on... Yeah, I don't think taking a black really works. It's really interesting if I take a black, because then he has to pick between row 3 blue or finishing one of these whites. And most likely, he picks finishing one of the whites. But if he takes the blue... Oh, does this work? The problem is if I play black... Like if I play black on 1, I have nowhere to play the blues. So then he takes white, and then I have to throw away 3 blues. If I play black on 5, and he chooses the blues instead of the whites, then I don't get a row 1. But if he chooses the blues instead of the whites, then he's leaving 2 rows open. He doesn't get a row 2 in exchange for me not getting a row 1. And I just play the whites on row 4. So most likely he takes 2 whites and I play, I don't really like it. But how does it differ from this? This way, yeah, this way I don't overpay as much. Okay, let's play this. So I can go 1 black here, and then most likely he takes the blues. Or I can throw away the blues. And then I most likely end up getting the reds. What do I think about letting him have these blues? There's still 9 blues left, and he's got the first player tile. And I'm not going to be able to defend blue next round anyway, so I think I'm okay letting him have those blues. And we'll just finish this row 5 and get unclogged. Oh, interesting. Decided on the reds anyway. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to play these. That is... There's 10 whites left. Yeah, that's just too much. So down by 7. Definitely an uphill battle. Maybe taking the yellows last round wasn't good. Just too many negatives. There's only 3 blacks left. So we'll try to get the first player tile and control blacks next round, because it could be a big point swing for one of us to get row 2 black and the other not to. There's also only 3 blue left, which most likely means nothing, but if Alexey isn't careful with blues in this round, things could get dicey. I wish that Azul was Alexey's main game, because it would be cool to see how high he could climb. Like, he's already a really strong player, just even though Carcassonne is his main game. And so if he were 100% Azul focused, it wouldn't surprise me if he could be like a 950 plus player. Okay. I think whites on 4 might be kind of a necessity here, but I give up the first player tile. Is something like blue on 5 a possibility here? With only 3 left, I think blue on 5 is a possibility. It doesn't force him to take blue, but it makes it very appealing. I just don't really see a good, like, whites on 4 just doesn't feel like it's gonna lead to a win for me. He can take 1 black. So I think, yeah, I think we have to try something different here. I might still give him, like, I'm not going to defend row 3 blue to the death necessarily, but my hope is that in taking some blues on this turn, I will get the first player tile and be able to control black next round. Additionally, like, so if he takes blues from the bottom right factory, then I get row 2 black, first player tile. If he takes blues from the bottom left factory, then he's grouping these yellows up, and I can take, again, 1 black on row 2, and then his row 2 is gonna have to be overpaid. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not going to take these blues. I'm going to take the black. Okay, so now taking 2 blue cuts off his row 3 and his row 1. So he needs to take a white on 1. which he would maybe take the 2 whites. That forces me into the 2 blacks, and then he takes reds. I don't get a row 1, so that doesn't particularly work. What I can do is go black here, and now if he takes the blues, I get 3 white, and then either red or black on my row 1. And if instead he takes like 1 white or something, I grab the blues. Yeah. And same story. Yeah, I think I have to grab the blues here. He'll probably take whites, which will be risky for my column. Like, I probably just won't get it. But giving him the blues here is just a death sentence. Like, this is just way too good of scoring. And as I said, next round, he will need blues in both columns. So, okay, so I want somewhere to play blacks next round. Potentially block this row 2 black. So I'm gonna take reds and take an extra, some extra negatives. This is, I mean, he's got a full color white threat as well. Like, this just isn't a good situation. I have to get really lucky basically with like a set of 3 blues or something. A set of 2 blues will do nicely. He just gets the full color white. So, okay, we'll start with whites, I guess. Do we even go for a column? It seems unlikely that we... I mean, it's unlikely that I win anyway. I don't think that there's any path to victory here. The full color white is worth... 13, and this is worth 7, plus 7 is 14, so the blues are worth a little more. But we're losing here. Okay, so now an interesting situation arises, which is that I can prevent him from ending the game. And just pray. Down by 9 and a column, like I'm not getting anything there, so yeah, we'll just take the first player tile and pray. It doesn't matter, like, we're down by so much. And everything is reliant on my 4th row. Like, I can get full color blue, maybe full color black, but that interferes with my column, so could be worse. He is a full color red threat, but not much else. I mean, already up by a zillion, but I have to watch not to get stuck with these blues. But I'm gonna get stuck with some of them. Yeah, I'm gonna get stuck. This is a lot of thinking for someone who's up by 23 with full color. Okay, not a strong start. Hopefully next game goes better. I don't know. We just return to main, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay, and then we have to bail on this one because I should go first. And we try again. And we have to bail on this one. So this is why Alexey set it for 11 games, actually, not because it was that we would actually play 11 games, but so that we would have extra games to be able to deal with this. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. We're gonna run out of games. Okay, finally I'm first. Okay, I think I'm just gonna build the center column here. Even though it gives him a nice 2 white, I will get a 2 white back, and I'll get row 3 blue. I imagine he's debating like column 3 versus column 2. I'd be shocked if he didn't take the whites. Okay, pretty much as expected. And yeah, my plan was always to grab 2 whites. Kind of an interesting debate here. I could take 3 reds to prevent him from getting a row 3. Which I think might be prudent, but like row 3 red isn't really all that valuable. And after I take reds, he takes the whites that groups the blues. I'm forced to take the blues. He maybe grabs a yellow on row 2 yellow. Can I take the reds on row 1? Probably not. If I go yellow, he goes white. I go blue. And it groups the blacks. I don't love that. Okay, I think I'm just gonna let him have row 3 red if he wants it. it's nice to have row 2 yellow and then be able to play on row 3 yellow next round. Okay, so here if he takes one white, I still have the option to take reds. If he doesn't take one white, I can group the 2 whites, force him to take them, then I get 2 blacks. And if he takes one white from the center, yeah, so now I have to follow this up correctly. This is how I prevent the row 3, because now I group the yellows and the reds together and we like have to play them on, we each have to play one on row 2. So I think the play is taking a black here. And we'll each get a row 2 and a row 1. And he can get a black on row 5. I think this is best. Let me take a look though. I don't want to take like the white, for example, because then I only get 2 more plays left, so I have no chance of getting blacks on 5. So I think this is good. He can actually just take a black on 5 here. Probably best for him unless he has a strong preference on the row 2. Which apparently he does, so this forces my row 2. And now he can take the black. I guess he could also play a blue. Grab the white. Two reasons to grab the white. One is that I just want to reduce the total number of whites I need for the remainder of the game. The other is he needs row 3 blue, and then depending on the draw, potentially also like row 2 blue might be best for him, and so this just gives me one more place to be able to play blues. And this is a little, like the white and the blue were the same distance to my adjacency, but this is a little bit further from his, so. Okay. It's tempting to create this group of 2 whites and force him to deal with it, but of course I can also, I kind of like taking a white with the first player tile because most likely I'm going to want control of whites and blacks next round, since I'm not going to finish row 5 black and I'm most likely not going to finish row 4 white. And my ideal situation is get row 2 red, get row 3 yellow, and snag a blue at some point to prevent his row 3. It's unlikely that will happen because row 2 yellow is what he wants most, so I wouldn't be surprised actually if he just took like a single yellow for row 2 in this situation. But taking a single yellow for row 2 gives me my row 4, so if he takes 1 white, I'll definitely be playing row 3 yellow, because it just puts so much pressure on his row 2. If we get the 1 white, then my priority will switch to row 2 blue instead of row 2 red. Who can tell me why I would switch my priority from row 2 blue, or from row 2 red to row 2 blue, depending on getting this 1 white, other than Zeus? Nobody wants to take a stab at it? Okay. It's irrelevant anyway. Yeah, so let's calculate this a bit just to make sure. But actually, I don't even know that I need to. So again, this is like the forcing move situation. Like I'm gonna take 2 yellow here, and if he takes 1 yellow, I won't necessarily be like instantly picking the other one. And I recognize that I can take a lot of damage on reds, red negatives this round. But hopefully I end up in a situation where I'm building really strongly into next round. Can't forget about blacks. Ideally, I grab a single black either on row 1 or row 5. Okay, so committing to row 2 blue, which would have simplified things pretty nicely for me, actually. I think if he makes that move, I know what I will do. Going back to my quiz question, if I had finished row 4 white, well, okay, let's get back to the game. Okay, playing on 3 changes things a bit. I would still like to avoid getting these reds. And the way to do that is to put all 4 colors in the middle. So my move was going to be this. He could then like take a black, for example, and I have to block blues. So I could just decide to eat these reds for the sake of keeping my board less clogged. But basically, if I take anything other than these reds, probably he's going to take from this factory and make the group of 6 reds. And then my row 2 will be 6 reds. So I can do this. I'm feeling like too lazy to calculate. Or maybe this is just too complicated to think about all the possibilities. I would end up giving him either the blue or the black, I think. And then he'd be able to pick up like row 4 red for free, basically. But I'm not sure that there's something better for me here. Okay, let's go for this. I assume he has something prepared here. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Okay, so I'm gonna grab blues. And I will either get row 3 yellow or progress on my blacks. Okay. This is an interesting draw, actually. He can guarantee his row 3 blue, but like look at his row 2 is in conflict with his row 3 and his row 5. So that's what I'm gonna look to exploit. The thing is, like, I can end up taking so many negatives this round. But is that true? Yeah, it would be like overpaying for whites, for example. So like if I took a blue on row 2, and then he went blue and I went blue, then all the whites could end up in the center. Which wouldn't be great for me. But I'd really like to keep him stuck on blues. I'd prefer to not put yellows in the center since I'd want to complete this. But again, this is not my top priority. I think taking black might make sense here. I can end up taking row 2 black also. So even if he gets blues, maybe I prevent the blacks. This is pretty tricky though, to be honest. I really want to stop blues, but I just don't think it's worth it. I might end up taking a very passive approach to the round of just trying to like complete everything here without taking too many negatives. We'll have to see. This feels like a difficult round to calculate well. Yeah, so I'm basically just looking at blacks here. There's still enough blacks for him to get row 2 black, and no, there's not enough for him to get row 5 and row 2. But he can pick up like row 2 white. Okay, so like I said, the passive approach would be to like grab 2 white here, and just leave myself options for this row 3 yellow. Is there something else here? I can play like row 1 black, for example, and put additional pressure on his row 5 and row 2. But then, you know, the yellows end up getting grouped, and my row 3 is going to cost me a fortune. So let's do this play. I'm sure it's not correct, but these situations are hard to calculate, and this simplifies it a bit for me. And I get the opportunity to react. Yeah, so here, for example, actually I might end up leaving the yellows here. I think his goal is to get me to take the yellows, and then if I take this 1 yellow, he can play blacks on 5, and then I would have to eat 3 whites to block his row 2. Here, for example, in this scenario, to get row 2, he has to take 3 whites. And then he could end up with a free row 4 yellow. I don't really care, though. But maybe he just takes a black and leaves it up to me whether I want to block these whites, which would cost me 5, which is kind of a lot to block a 2-point row 2. If I instead take the yellow, I give him black and white, but he ends up having to take these 3 yellows, which isn't the worst thing, so. But I come out really clean here. I get a row 1 red. So I score 3 plus 5 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. He scores 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Minus 2 is 13. And minus another negative, I think. Where I only end up with 1 negative. I end up with 2 most likely. Whereas this was I don't even remember what my options were. Okay, so this leaves him without completing row 5 black, but then I leave row 4, row 3 yellow open. I think I prefer this. There's only 7 black left. He needs 4. He has a first player tile, so he has an interesting decision. It's basically a question of, like, he has to decide whether I would take the whites. There's also a question of whether I would take the yellows. It's like a net 0 for the actual play, but then I end up with an extra -2, I think. But it opens up the ability for me to score on red next round. There's 9 of them. And there's actually a lot of blue and yellow left. So unlikely I could build this column with only 10 blues left, because we both need row 2 blue. So that's 4 of the 10, but crazier things have happened. Wow, I took a lot of time on that last play. I'm down to 6 minutes. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. I don't think taking these whites is worth it. So it's a question of if I want to take the yellows or not. I think I do want to take them. I mean, it's a free point for him. I end up with some negatives, but I'm going to go -3 if I don't take them. So I might as well get the points for them. So he's going to score 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. -4. So he'll score 6. I will score... Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't think going -8 is worth blocking. Although I go -8, he goes -1. So it's -7. Versus I go -2. He goes +1. Yeah, I'm just gonna let him have that. Blue on 4 is interesting. This is a little bit risky, I think. Even though there's 10 left, we are going to spend 4 of them on row 2s. So that leaves 6. So he needs 3 of 6 remaining to finish out this row 4. And he has other priorities. Like blacks are going to be a priority for him. He needs 4 of the remaining 7. Okay, so up by 2. Pretty interesting draw. Kind of a nice draw for him. Tough to say. I mean, he just gets like row 3 yellow, probably both blacks. And I will get probably row 2 blue. I guess row 3 red would be nice for me. So yeah, it's not too bad. I think that the crux of the round for him is this blue situation where, like, if he takes row 2 blue, then and I take row 2 blue, then he's like leaving this hanging. But if he takes row 2 black, okay, I'm perfectly happy, I think, just grabbing the first player tile. And then grabbing row 2 blue. I'm okay with him getting black on 2 and blue on 4, but not all of the blue on 4. I don't like that. But I think if I take a single red, yeah, I'll be able to stop either row 2 black or row 4 blue. Like, basically, after I get my row 1 and row 2, I don't really care about stuff getting grouped, so because my board is so open. So if he takes black here, and then I take 2 blue, and then he takes 2 blue on 4, I can just take a blue. And I actually have a really interesting play in that scenario. Yeah, if he goes black 2, I go blue 2, and he goes blue 2 on 4, I could actually take the 2 whites, and everything would be in the center. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so now I can make him pick between row 4 and row 2. I'm sorry. Yeah, row 4 and row 2. So I need to get this row 2. I don't think that was a question. Like, if I take the single blue away, then he plays 2 blues on 4. And then he can potentially get blacks on 2. And I would maybe end up with whites on 2, but yeah, this seems better. Okay, and so here is the interesting play. I can take 1 blue, which blocks his row 4. But then he takes 1 white, and I'm sorry, 1 yellow. And then I have to deal with these 2 whites at the end of the round. So instead, I can take 2 whites. And now his row 1 is left to 5 yellows. Or he can forgo his row 1 and take 1 blue. I take 5 yellows. He takes 4 red. So this actually seems best to me. Let me make sure, though. I could also... Let's see, if I take 3 red, he takes... If I take 3 red, and he takes 1 yellow for row 1, I take the blue away. He takes 4 yellow on row 3. Yeah, I don't think giving him row 1 yellow and row 3 yellow is good. So let's group the yellows. Do I want to play here? If I play on 3, I need 3 of the 4 whites next round, and he needs 1. So if they come out in like a group of 2 and 2, then I'm pretty screwed. I could play them on 5 as just like a throwaway, and that actually leaves my row 3 red open. So let's do this. And if blue, then red. And if red, then blue. I mean... Yeah, so let's just make sure. So I could play the yellows for +1, -1, net 0. And then he plays the reds for +1, for +2, -1. So this should be better for me. This is +6, -1 is 5 for me. And he scores nicely because of his... He gets adjacency for the row 4. So he basically traded a row 1 for this row 4. And I'm up by 1. I should get better scoring in my top rows. I'll put the 2 blue in the center right away to make him pay for this row 2. And hopefully we just walk this in. He can potentially score on row 3 with reds. So that would be his path to victory, is like row 1, row 2, row 3, while I only get 1 and 2. So I do need to be careful for that. So I'm going to not group the reds, although making the group of 4 isn't bad, or making a group of 2 isn't bad, since I can play on 4. I think this is pretty safe. I have 3 options for my row 1 yellow, so there's no way he can deny me that. Okay. Hopefully I didn't screw this up. Zeus just told me I have to hurry. I have no extra time. I forgot about that. I didn't realize I was so low. It's not like beeping at me. Wow, so this was like a 40-minute game. In real time, it, like, once you get under a minute, it starts beeping at you. This sucks. I may have blown this game. I'm gonna end up with a lot of blue negatives. And he's probably gonna win because of it. Yeah. I think I blew this. Yep, lost by 1. I'm just gonna get 3-0'd, I guess. I don't think I had a path there anyway. I think I misordered something in that round 5, or he had too many scoring threats. Maybe I needed to take red earlier or something. And it's his turn to go first. Honestly, sometimes I think calculating this much makes me overthink things. I don't know. I think I played that game pretty well, but I think it was probably very winnable. Maybe that end of round 4 was wrong. I didn't really expect to be in time pressure at all during this, like with 20 plus minutes. I need to make a crazy comeback now. That's interesting. Okay. This is going to be a weird round one. Yep, see you, Zeus. Thanks. Thanks, admitted. This is a tricky situation for him. He has to watch out for his road 2. I guess not. All right, let's see what we get. Lots of white. It's tough to psych myself up after 2 losses, one of which I think I should have won. The first game was obviously a terrible game, but okay. Thanks, 0x7 FAC3D. This is an interesting situation. Like, how hard do I defend white, if at all? I think it would be good to... I can't actually stop it. I wouldn't mind the first player tile to control blacks. This would be an interesting play. I don't really do stuff like this. I think that can get me in trouble. Let's just keep it simple. This might be a round where we both kind of get everything we want. Like, I can get 2 yellow. Oh, that would be wild. That would be wild. I would definitely take the whites, I think. I think I might go blues here to force him into row 2 red. Maybe I should have just kept things simple with my vertical adjacency. But this creates tension between his row 5 and his row 2. I guess he could try for 2 white and 3 white. I can't stop that. I think this ends up being best for me. He gets white, I get white. He gets red, I get black. He takes a yellow. Crazy option is throw out 3 red. He gets white, I get yellow or black. Let's do it. This seems good, actually. I take a lot of negatives, but maybe that's not good. He takes a decent number of negatives. I can't imagine he plays this. would be kind of cool. We're in similar situations, but I have fewer points. But only down by 3. Of course, a ton of reds come and no blacks, so that's good for me. My row 2 options also suck. Like if he just takes 2 yellow, there's only 2 whites and there's only 1 black. Like, I'm just cooked here, completely cooked. He gets row 2 blue, row 3 blue. Yeah, I don't think I have a chance on this draw. I think I just have to take 2 yellow just to have any hope of keeping up points wise. Yeah, and now I think I get row 3 red, just to slow him down, and I pick up white or black on row 1, and someone gets row 4 blue, probably him, or row 3 blue. But I don't think I have a chance in the game other than slowing down his reds, because he still needs, like next round he will need row 1 red, row 2 red, row 5 red. Or maybe he picks up row 1 red this round. So yeah, I think I like 1 blue for me here. Oh, well. Yeah. And this is fine. I don't need to worry about the blues getting grouped up and going last because I can play them on 4. So he'll get to play them on 3 or 4. Okay. Oh. I was gonna say, in that situation, I think I like taking 1 blue, and then he has to. Okay. Let's see if we're gonna commit. Crank up the time pressure. Yeah, it just has to be this. Too many negatives. And I basically, like, I need to hope that this next draw has next to no reds. Like, maybe even 0 reds. And then I can win. That's not good. 3 reds is not good. I mean, I feel like I just have nothing here. Maybe I needed to take reds there, but okay. He's up by 5. I'm not going to get a column. He's scoring way better than me this round. There's just nothing. Absolutely nothing. I can go +3, -4. He goes -2, net gain of 1. Or I can make him go -6, I go -2, net gain of 4. But I can't end the game. But I probably don't want to end the game anyway. No, I can end the game with 2 whites. Never mind. Game 1, I think I played poorly. This game, I'm not sure. I think the round 3 draw is really tough. I was probably behind headed into it anyway, headed into round 3, but that like really sealed the deal. He just needs to play row 1 red or row 2 red. Like he wins even without finishing a column, he wins easily. So I have some interesting plays here, which is just that he can literally only score on red. So my path to victory is trying to dump blacks or yellows as negatives and prevent row 4 white or row 4 blue. So I basically don't even go for the column like right away. I just try to get the blacks grouped so that it's a possibility. In the meantime, try to take away whichever he commits to on row 4. I can score row 3 yellow. I can score row 2 white. So he's up by 8, and this is a 10-point play. So he's at 18, 20, or he's up by 18. So there's a chance, like, if I can make him go -14 or like -8 or 11 and pick up some good scoring, I actually do maybe have a shot. The thing I have to do is only block whichever of these row 4s he commits to. Like, as soon as he plays on row 4, I block something. I block it. This is actually a very cool situation. I thought it was really lost. This is a smart play from him. I don't think I want to go to round 6. Although the possibility in round 6 is that like no reds come out. Oh, the game's over. The game's over. He's ending the game. So never mind. There is no round 6. So I definitely want these whites. This is +7. -2 is 5. This is +5. Oh, +7 -4 is 5. Is 3, and this is 5 -2. But if I play on row 3, I can't get row 3 yellow. So I think I need to play on row 2 to keep row 3 yellow alive. I also have row 3 black, not as good of scoring, obviously, but okay. And then, yeah, I can't let him get row 4 blue. So I think this is blue on 1. It could also be black on 1. No, but this blue on 1 lets me get row 3 black also. Someone told me to take my time because I have 60 minutes to calculate, and instead I am not calculating. So I'm going to score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. -6 is 6. And he's going to score currently 10. -4 is 6. I don't think I can come up with enough points to win here. I'm going to score 3 more, though, so I'm going to score 9. Yeah, that's the right play. So I score on... Ooh, I don't score on blacks. I take 2 white. Ah, this sucks. Yeah, I just lose. Oh, no. It's lose. Now I can score on blacks. But I assume he has calculated this and that this is a win for him. I have almost just as many negatives, so... Oh, lose by 1. Oh, so close. That was a crazy one. Maybe I did have an out there if I calculated a little bit more, but it seemed pretty straightforward. Maybe if I take the black on 1 and blues. Oops. Yeah, smoked in the first game and then 2 1-point losses. So, 2 1-point losses in which maybe if I play round 5 better, I have some outs. This one was interesting. There was a chance, so there was an opportunity where I could have played row 1 black, but I think it ended up in him playing blues, and then I play blues, and then I end up with a bunch of negatives. So I don't think it worked. Yeah, shockingly close, actually, given how it looked. So just a reminder, you're never out of any game. There's always something you can do, probably. Okay. Well, getting oh, karma penalty, sure, that's fine. Getting beat 3-0 isn't ideal, but 2 close games, and oh, does he want to play another one? Or oh, I withdrew from the tournament though. Is there any way to back? Doesn't look like. All right, I guess I'm gonna wrap it there. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys had fun, and it'll be fun to watch Alexey's side of the stream. So, see you guys later.